on, my wayward son. There'll be peace when you are done. Lay your weary head to rest.
Supernatural Bloodlines. It was supposed to be the backdoor episode for a new CW spin-off of the show Supernatural, but the network didn't pick up the series because the episode was shockingly bad, and it wasn't that well received by the fans either, as you can see by the IMDb score. It's actually the lowest score for any Supernatural episode, so that's saying something. But before I go on about how the supposed pilot failed on pretty much every level, I should give you some cliff notes in case you don't know what Supernatural is. Supernatural is a TV show that started back in 2005, created by Eric Kripke. It follows the life on the road of two brothers, Sam and Dean Winchester, while they hunt down different sorts of supernatural and mythological creatures. We have demons, lots of demons, ghosts, vampires, werewolves, demigods, gods, shapeshifters, witches, etc. Pretty much every monster that is part of public domain has its place in the supernatural mythology. The first 5 seasons are the ones where you can see there was an outline for where and when they wanted the story to end, but the show kept going because it became really popular, and the money is nice. It's still watchable, but it's pretty obvious there isn't much planning going on. Every time there's a new season, it's like a new reboot where they introduce new elements, and sometimes those elements don't work with what was established before, like the fact that vampires were considered to be extinct in season 1, but by season 12 they show up on every other Monday. But I don't care. That's not why I watch this show. I watch it because of the main characters, the occasional good writing, and mostly this. Yeah, I enjoy watching human-like creatures being stabbed to death. There might be something wrong with me, but the point is that this show was never fine art in the first place. This isn't True Detective or The Night Of. It was always something of a guilty pleasure of mine. It's alright for the most part, aside from, of course, this episode. So let's talk about it. When you first start watching a new show, there are certain elements you look for. For instance, if you aren't familiar with what the show is about, like if it's based on a book or a film that you haven't seen, you want the show to stand on its own. You want to watch something that doesn't leave huge blanks that can only be answered by reading the book or checking online the Wikipedia cliff notes. You want a complete package. Now, the upside of creating a pilot that's inserted in another series is that the audience already has an interest in watching it. People who like Supernatural are gonna watch the episode regardless. Bloodlines manages to waste the opportunity by having the main characters appear only as cameos on their own show, instead of having the normal Monster of the Week episode, just with more compelling guest characters that people might be interested in seeing them again doing their own thing. You have an episode that's literally a TV pilot for something completely different. And to make things even worse, Bloodlines doesn't work on its own anyway. It fails on 2 fronts. It's the exact opposite of killing 2 birds with 1 stone. It's that pathetic. Now, there are other aspects you want out of a good pilot, like a charismatic or mysterious and believable main character. The guy they got is none of those things. He's quite the opposite of believable, he looks like he belongs on a Twilight film, and his performance is very much on that level. But the problem doesn't end with just him, everyone else is also dreadful when it comes to acting. Now, speaking of the concept itself, let's for a minute forget that monsters fighting monsters, or even coexisting within a supernatural mythology, has never really happened. They usually stay out of each other's way, but it was never implied that they did that directly, like a vampire and a werewolf having an argument about who gets to eat PewDiePie. I always assume it was something more basic and simple, like they sense when there's another monster around and just go to another city. But in Bloodlines, they don't just coexist, they all live in this Godfather-like scenario. Now, in theory, that sounds interesting. After all, The Godfather is a fantastic film, but one that works because its execution is flawless. From the direction to the cinematography, from the script to the performances, everything is in its A-game. But in Bloodlines, everything is shit. The performances are atrocious, like I said, especially in the sister of the shifter and the main guy, but what's even worse is the direction and the script. I don't know who thought it was a good idea to combine the Godfather style of hierarchy with Twilight levels of romance and melodrama. Whoever they were, I hope they got fired because this isn't work that deserves payment or anything.
You're a runaway and I'm a bitch. We don't matter.
What's wrong with you? Since when do you play their game? Since when did you let your dad say to some dick from New York?
You think I had a choice?
You did!
When you combine the weak performances with the poor direction, you end up with some pretty ridiculous moments, like this one where the guy's reaction is clearly not synced with what's happening.
House of Pinatas, Cinnamon speaking.
Not funny, David. Where the hell are you? You need to come home.
Margot, slow down.
David, listen to me. You have to come home
What do you
now.
mean?
Not sure if I should blame the actor or the director for this, so I'll just compromise and say they were both terrible at their jobs. And then there are other moments where what's wrong isn't just crappy dialogue and bad flow, but contrivances. Things that are hard to believe, but happen just because the plot needs to progress.
How you been, man?
Good, how are you doing?
Good to see you.
Dude, now we were just talking. You got a problem?
Oh, chill out, Mark. It's all good? Yeah?
Why would he look at the mirror? There was no one pointing at it or mentioning it, it just happened. This guy read the script and at that point, he was supposed to look at the mirror for some reason. Because that's what you do when someone threatens you. You look around for the closest mirror to see if they're human or not. That's normal behavior. And let's not forget this Oscar-worthy scene.
So, you dragged me to a ferry stop. Why?
We met on a ferry. That field trip, 5th grade. You had your hair in braids and I couldn't take my eyes off you. Damn.
She's literally acting like she doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about. Like they read different scripts or something. And then this happens.
And this is us. So,
Oh my god.
call 911! Call 911!
Why is he yelling at her all of a sudden? He was just gonna propose, but now he's freaking out, screaming, acting like an idiot that doesn't know who she is. Again, I must stress, the performances are something else. In the same way the presentation is something else. We learn later that the antagonist was just some random guy who wanted revenge for his little brother, and that this moment where he kills the main guy's girlfriend was just supposed to be an accident.
And who's David?
I didn't have a choice.
If this was an accident, then so was 9/11. Everything in Bloodlines is so terribly executed that you wonder if they had a team of monkeys behind it. Monkeys that didn't just manage to fuck up their own self-contained story, they also ruined some of the supernatural mythology. Because in previous episodes, a shapeshifter turning into someone else was a gruesome, disgusting act. The skin would come off, and it was all very graphic. I miss those times. Here, it's almost like I'm 12 and watching Charmed again. Just awful. I really don't know who greenlighted this episode. Jesus. Ugh. And with all that said, I don't think Bloodlines is the worst thing that has ever happened to television. It's certainly stupid both in concept and execution, but at least I can say that this is pretty much the bottom line for how bad Supernatural can get. And this is coming from someone who despised Metatron and Rowena's storylines. They were just... Anyway, thanks for watching, hope you like it, comment below, down below, leave an upvote for that feed me algorithm, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye!